and sort of months work to things that I like. So for the exam, I was fine in my room and I couldn't really go out.
And 2019 Rugby World Cup winner Alton Yankees has been banned for 4 years from the sport after testing positive for a banned substance. The South African Institute for Drug-Free Sport confirmed the decision today after Yankees first tested positive for glenbuterol in August last year. Mawanda Mataiza takes a look.
Springbok fly-half Alton Yankees' career looks likely to be over after he was slapped with a 4-year ban from rugby, with the SA Institute of Drug-Free Sport confirming the date of his violation as the 23rd of June 2023. The 33-year-old has always maintained his innocence, but didn't exercise his right to have his case heard before an independent doping hearing panel. The potentially career-ending punishments are the latest in a string of controversies to plague the fly-half. In 2022, he was arrested and charged for malicious damage to property and contravening the Aviation Act after he lost it on an Emirates flight that landed at OR Tambo International. And in November of that same year, it's also alleged that he was in a relationship with the Springbok team dietitian. Mawande Mateza, Eyewitness News.
A partly cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 11 degrees, peaking at 24, Tshwane 12 and 27, Vereeniging 10 and 25. Lerato Huffela, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 947. For more, click ewn.co.za.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
And I want to say to my, especially when I'm let's get money for about Barbara. Urota kwa hakuku enjuta makhadi ba rai na bana ba bararo ke thomo bile o mawe but for the price of one.
I think we lose the game in two facts. First is missing the penalty. Secondly is the physical power. We do well the second half of Mali.
And for me, Rob, it's high time players have some level of integrity and decline selection for Bafana if they know that they are not fit enough or they have played enough minutes to represent the country, because it will be the honorable thing to do. And for me, you look at the number of minutes Kulu has played and you look at Amadou Hidara who plays for Leipzig. It was an incomparable competition in terms of minutes on the legs.
Let's talk Bafana. Darab, good evening. What a painful game to watch, especially the second half. First half, a very decent display from the boys. Unfortunately for Percy Tau, he did miss that penalty, which for a player of his caliber is absolutely no excuse really, but I guess it is the nature of the game.
Benson Mshongo, my guest here tonight.
Percy, okay, he was selfish. He was supposed to at least cross the ball to his teammate. He was selfish to hit it on the first pole. There's a chance we missed the penalty.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Well, I guess some people find great pleasure in kicking a man when he's down. They actually find absolute pleasure by doing that. That's not what we're going to be doing tonight here on the show, because we'll always pay attention to this gentle gentleman, as some people have called him, of the beautiful game, a retired legend of the game, and we may always not be able to help out in certain ways, but believe you me, we'll always strive to make a difference one way or the other. And since being forced into retirement, and when I say forced into retirement, that's literally what happened. He broke his leg while playing for Bidvest Wits. The legendary gold miner Emile Baron's life took somewhat of a dive. And maybe just saying that is underplaying the situation a great deal. But very well loved. I mean, we put out the post earlier on social media that he'll be on the show tonight, and people are just excited. In fact, I'll read one of the tweets, and someone was laying out exactly what happened with them in a particular game at one time. And I said, wow, people's memories. It's crazy because they remember the impact that somebody like you would have made. But man, just know, a lot of people love you. They respect you. A year ago, there were football supporters in Norway. They decided to come together. They raised close to 2 million rands after hearing that this former Bafana goalkeeper who played for Lillestrøm SK was living in what we would call poverty, relying on handouts to feed his family. But for whatever unknown reasons, the former Hellenic Chiefs, as well as Wits goalkeeper, is yet to receive that money. Emil, in the meantime, though, continues to face a very, very tough time. We're going to try to get down to the bottom of this very disturbing and very sad story in terms of what exactly has happened to the money. Firstly, though, I'll introduce him, but he's not here by himself. I'll tell you who he's accompanied by. Emile Baron, good to see you, man. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks for having me.
2024. If I had to ask you a blatantly honest question, how does Emile Baron feel? What's life been like?
Well, from the start of last year, I was very enthusiastic with, seeing the help coming from supporters in Norway.
Yeah.
And then entering into 2024, just demotivated, still same position, still struggling. And I really thought by 2024 we'll be in a better position. But, things hasn't come to light. So it's just, motivation is just gone.
So the context regarding Norway is that when they heard about your plight, and you had spent quite a number of years playing in Norway, so you became part of, folklore. People were excited. You're a very talented goalkeeper, much spoken about. You were playing for your national team, and then boom, they couldn't believe what was going on, especially because you were injured while playing a game of football. So that decision didn't even come from you. They took a decision to raise funds. And like I say, if I remember correctly, it was like 1.8 million. So wrap it up, 2 million rand. That was supposed to come directly through to you.
Yeah.
We have spoken to the former CEO of the Premier Soccer League, Shettle CM. He was going to be chatting to us today, but, a board meeting came up and he says he's not able to take our call. Be that as it may, we continue to talk because I believe that this is about you. So what has happened? Where does the money sit in terms of what you are able to answer for us, Emile?
Well, as far as I know, at first the money was sitting in a trust in Norway.
Yeah.
In some trust fund. And then it was brought to our attention that it has been sent to a trust fund in South Africa. And as far as I know, it's still sitting in a trust fund in South Africa.
In whose name? Do you know?
We weren't told in whose name or which trust it is or anything. We haven't received any information. We haven't received any information of how much it is that has been transferred into this trust. And we have no information of who actually has the right or who's managing these funds. So basically, we are out in the dark. We don't know who's doing what and who's in charge of what.
Because they would have had to get permission from you. You can't just open a trust fund for fun using your name where there's such big amounts of money concerned. I mean, surely that on its own raises a couple of red flags.
Yeah. I mean, we agreed with the people in Norway that it'll be best, instead of renting a place, to buy a place for ourselves, to buy a house. And we've been looking at 1, 2, 3 houses, and we wanted to put in offer to purchase. And obviously we needed proof of funds. So we did ask them if they could just forward that to us, but they wouldn't even forward that to us. So basically everything we've been asking them, they haven't given us any information whatsoever.
So you were in a situation where you wanted to buy a house on the back of knowing that these funds are there.
Yeah.
But then you can't prove it because they are not making it accessible to you.
Exactly.
So where does that leave you? Where does Emile Baron call home right now?
Well, for the past, shall I say, 6 to 8 months, we've been staying in guest houses. They did rent us a place, an apartment, but then we left because there was some incident at the place. So then we were staying at guest houses, and most of the time we were apart from our kids because most of the guest houses they don't allow kids to stay in the guest houses. So most of the time we've been apart from the kids as well. So, and been moving from guest house to guest house, and we have our things, all our furniture and things, we have it in a storage facility. And
and that you've got to pay for. I mean, there's no storage facility that comes for free.
But the thing was that it was agreed with the people from Norway that we'll go in a guest house, and then from October to December, they paid this one guest house, they paid it for the 3 months, and they would pay storage for 3 months. And they paid the guest house after, I think, 2 months or something. Then they received the money. But with the storage, there hasn't been any money paid into storage till today. And we had to make a plan ourselves to pay the storage. Otherwise, they were going to auction our stuff, and we're not able to access our things in storage. And we basically have everything in there, from clothes to furniture, everything, because we can't move around with all our clothes.
No, absolutely.
So basically we used to just stay at the guest house and then go to the storage, get some clothes we're going to use for next 2 days, and then go back to the guest house, and
But then the guest house, they would be charging you to stay. So tell me, how would you be able to then, given the difficulty that you find yourself, be able to raise the money on a regular basis, on a monthly basis, to be able to pay for that facility?
Yeah. Like I was saying, they have paid up until end of December.
Okay.
But since then, we've been struggling by ourselves. That is why we had to take a few of our items and take it to pawn so we can have some cash, so we could pay for 2 nights or 3 nights at the guest house. So that has been difficult for us as well. And in that 3 months that they have from October, they weren't giving us any money for groceries or anything. Before that, from June, I think, they were giving us, because then they asked us to put out a budget of groceries or, for whatever we need. And then they used to send us money into the bank account. We were able to buy groceries. We were able to, get electricity and things like that. So, that was where we started to feel like human again.
Yes.
Understand? Until October, when they say, no, you're going to go to another guest house. And from October, they say, no, they are freezing the funds. They are not sending us anything. So from October until now, we haven't received any money for groceries or anything. So also the only way we could manage with the groceries was to pawn our fridge or washing machine or, TV or something. So, and it's now difficult as well because we still have those things in pawn. And I think it's now next week is the first item coming up. So we've been asking them money just to get that out of pawn, and they just don't seem interested.
I know one person that through your entire journey has been your rock. That's been your wife, Sherry.
Yeah.
I mean, she's right here. She's sitting next to you. And I firstly got to welcome you, Sherry.
Hello.
I know that in previous interviews that we've had, you've always wanted to play a backseat role, let Emile be in the forefront.
Yes.
But I think including you in today's conversation is important because there's also bits of information and facts that you've been heavily involved in that you would be able to speak freely about. So thank you for affording us that opportunity to do that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And again, completely sorry about everything that has happened. I don't think a former national team player like Emil deserves to be where he is. I don't think a former under-23 Olympic Games triumph against a very star-studded Brazil team deserves to be where he is right now. And more so because when you get injured in the line of duty, which is playing football, where you break your leg back in 2013, forced into retirement, playing for Bidvest against Pirates in that game, I think it was broken in 2 places. How do you summarize that journey since then? I mean, we'll come back to facts about Norway and the funds and everything else, but just give me your perspective, because you've played such a major role here.
It's been tough, but I knew that I just had to be strong for him and for our family.
And being strong, you have to be strong, but you can see that there's a lot of injustice.
Yes, and Emil being the silent and not wanting to stand up for him being treated this way has been tough. I've left him to make decisions, but now I can't anymore because
He's too much of a gentleman.
Yes, he is.
So he takes the punishment.
Yes, he is.
Although he knows that the punishment is wrong.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, that's the Emil I grew up knowing, even before I met him. You could tell that this guy is a gentleman, and that is how people have respected him.
Yes. That has led to a lot of disrespect.
Yes, in the process.
Yes.
The fresh story that we were chatting about now, maybe give us your input, because there are individuals that are concerned from South Africa who have had, or you were told have access to the money, or can help you access the money. Maybe paint a picture of the detail that we are missing as far as that is concerned, because we spoke to representatives from that fan group in Norway. They confirmed, I think it was about a year ago, that we've done this, we've formulated the group, we've collected the money is there. So what has happened, the fact that you sit here today and you have not received it?
I think that I'm not sure, but it's really been like no one's been listening to us. No one's been listening to Emil. No one's been taking into account what we're going through, or even that it matters, because nothing's being done. No one is even concerned how we've been living and things like that. Because if we do voice that to the people that are supposed to be helping us and that's there for our best interest, nothing seems to be important to anybody that's supposed to be helping us.
Who do you say has been the biggest disappointment in all of this?
By name.
You can name people.
Gabello.
Yeah.
Gabello has been the one that's always been, and it's like if we say and tell him what we need, and then he actually speaks to Emil like Emil is a child. He speaks to him like that and disrespects him like even as a man. Yes, and he's been very.
So where does he fit into this whole thing?
He was supposed to be the person helping us and managing the funds, but thus far he hasn't.
So appointed, do you know appointed by who? Does that have a link?
I think by the Norwegians.
Yeah.
Yes, because that was initially he was the only guy that they knew in South Africa that could help us. They thought of it.
But why would he disrespect then?
I have no idea. I have no idea, but to be honest, I felt like a bad vibe, should I say, because of the way his whole engagement with us and everything. It's been off. It's just been off.
Also got to put it on record that we have reached out. So the people that can't comment right now, it's not because of lack of trying from our side. But that also does not mean that the side that is presented to us right now should not be heard. And that is why we've got the show, and we will continue to have the conversation. So when you come back from the break, we will continue our conversation. Emile Baron is here, Emile Baron, former national team football player, joining us right here in studio. Africa Cup of Nations, I can remind you once again, is up and running. Equatorial Guinea earlier on, winning by 4-2 against Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau, after 2 games, 0 points on the score sheet. Unfortunately, as far as the competition is concerned, they'll be heading back home.
Marawa Sports Worldwide, covering Africa Cup of Nations Cote d'Ivoire 23. All of the action, all of the time. Hashtag MSW AFCON.
Epic winnings await you this festive season with Hollywood Bets. Treat yourself to the widest range of games in Mzansi with Spinner Zonke, Lucky Numbers, Aviator, live games, sports, and more. Feel the winning festive spirit and bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bets supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Some people imagine a lifetime of comfort. Others live it. Thanks to Alliance. Quality residential and commercial air cons at affordable prices with a 5-year warranty. Heat pumps for the perfect pool, jacuzzi, and alternative water heating solutions. Our 14 years of proven reliability means quality products at affordable prices. With long-term service backed by 4Ways Air. Live a life of comfort. Experience the Alliance difference today. Go to allianceair.co.za.
Matric maths marks not adding up? English results that are too disappointing for words? A chemistry paper that bombed out? Whatever your concern, Abbott's has the solution. Upgrade your matric at Abbott's College in any or all subjects. Abbott's College High School is your gateway to academic success, where you can improve and reach your potential. Visit our next open day or visit abbots.co.za for more information. Changing your matric results can change your life. Enrolling grade 8 to 12 now.
There comes that 2020 more mood again. That back to the grind madness that only Macro can calm. With deals like Samsung 65-inch Smart UHD TV plus Samsung C400 soundbar, both for 11,999, save 3,200 Rand. And Trojan R510 treadmill at 8,999, save 1,000 Rand. Shop at Macro online or in-store today. Promotion valid until 21 January 2024. T's and C's apply.
Do you aspire to a career in the media industry? Bring your ambitions to life with a diploma in media practices from Boston Media House in Sandton or Pretoria. Choose a combination of electives from radio, TV, advertising, animation, graphic design, digital marketing, PR, and journalism. Apply and register now to start studying 19th of February. See bostonmediahouse.ac.za for more details.
At Mr. D, the D's for done. Done even when the lights go out and you aren't done cooking. We'll get dinner done, groceries done, treats done, and pet food for you done. When things look like they may be undone, we'll be the ding-dong to fix things that have gone wrong. There's no queuing without done. You're always number one. Get it fast and hot at your 9 to 5 or your 6 to 10, whenever done. For restaurants, groceries, and everything in between, download the Mr. D app. The D is for done.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
I can tell from your body language. Okay, let's talk about it.
Benson Mshongo, my guest here tonight. I said I didn't expect that body language, that negativity coming through from people that are supposed to be leading the national team. It's a privilege.
It's a tournament that is played over a month. We need experience there, whether playing or on the bench. So that such things cannot happen. Because it starts from the change room before you enter the pitch, the mentality. You know, I was looking at the social media, my Instagram, you find them posting, massaging the whole week.
And this is the Bafana players?
Yes. So I don't know how stiff they are. What is it? Are you at the hotel having a nice time?
I can tell from your body language. Okay.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa, and good evening to your guest, Emile Baron. Ngikhuluma noSibongeleni kwaMkhwani kaMgaya Mathafeni. Mr. Marawa, his stories ka Emile is very touching, Mr. Marawa. After a promising career in his football journey, what I saw on the social media about his life lately, it touched me, Mr. Marawa. I wish he can recover and live a good life like everybody else, or like he was living before. I just wish him all the best in future, Mr. Marawa. Thank you. God bless you, Emil.
God bless you, Emil. Sibongeleni, thank you so much indeed for those well wishes. Emile Baron is my guest here tonight, accompanied by Sherry Baron, who is his wife and support and is everything. He still gets shy when she talks. I saw that. Eh? I think I wanted to garner a smile because there was a stage. I think you had granted an interview and you actually openly said you don't remember the last time you actually smiled. And that was the thing.
Yeah.
And that was because of what? It was because of the journey. I know that there was a stage where, and correct me if I'm wrong, where you had to, as far as trying to get funds and money is concerned, to take back home, even go into the recycling part of life, where you're collecting recyclables and then being able to earn money from that. Was that part of what had wiped the smile completely?
Well, I can tell you it basically started on the night when I broke my leg. That's where everything started. Because then I went into sort of depression and things like that because I couldn't do what I love doing, and I couldn't do what takes care of my family. So it just went into depression and isolation, and it was quite difficult. So coming to the recycling part, it wasn't like an everyday event. It was more of, like a push come to shove. There's nothing else I can do, so I'd go out and try and collect, whatever I could do just to get some money. I used to do it. And there wasn't a way that I could have been even thinking of other ways like crime or anything, because that is not what I wasn't born to do things like that. So that was out of the question. So to get money the honest way, even if it means degrading yourself in any which way, I did it because at least then it will bring some food to the table for my kids.
When you talk about degrading, when you are at your last ebb and when nothing else matters, impressions about what other people think about you go out the window.
Yeah, you don't care about what people think anymore, because now at the end of the day, it's all about your kids having something to eat. You can't worry about what people is going to say while you are picking up this plastic bottle, because with this plastic bottle, at least my kid has something to eat or will get something to eat, because they are not the ones that is sitting and watching your kids, your wife, sitting there hungry and you're not able to do anything about it. So you don't care about what the next person thinks. You do what you have to do to provide at least something for them to eat before they go to sleep.
What do you think of football now? Because that's the one game that you love.
Yeah.
That's the one game you loved. That's the one game that made us know that there is an Emile Baron.
Yeah.
It's the one game that gave us a glimpse of what a superhuman being you are. But it's also the one game that has come back to give you this difficult life. It's the one game that, if everything was fair, that in a place of duty, like you are and were at the time, you have a career-ending injury, that you have the right for compensation, that you have a right to be tapped into an insurance fund of some sort that the league would have had. But I don't guess you got a cent from the league.
Well, I won't say I didn't get a cent, because strange story is that we were fighting to get compensation from the insurance.
Yes.
For about maybe 2 years. And at that point, I was still living in my house. And my house was going to be auctioned. So I went to Wits. I went to them and told them, listen, my house is going to get auctioned. If I don't pay 200,000 by next week, I'm losing the house. And then, strange enough, 2-3 days later, Jose calls me in. He says, listen, this is what the insurance is offering, and it was exactly 200,000. And, being the way that I really needed that money, I had to accept it, even though I knew that this is not the amount that, was due to me. But for not losing my house, I had to accept that. So that is what I got from it, was the 200,000.
But where was he getting it from?
I have no idea. He said it's the insurance that he is making an offer to settle.
No, but I think in a time where there are things like the Players Union, who should have come in and helped you.
Yeah. Well, the Players Union did step in, but that was years after the incident.
Yeah, it was after a bit of noise was made about your incident. It wasn't immediately, like a road accident fund where people have access when they can't go on as per normal. Yeah. So it's strange. I mean, you talk about Jose, I'm imagining you talk about Jose Ferreira.
Yeah, that's correct.
And at that stage, you were still with Bidvest Wits.
Yeah.
Before you moved on to become DC prosecutor at the league. Yeah, okay. So it's also important to clear that fact. It's also a bit strange when you just come with a sum of money from somewhere and then you say this is from the insurance.
Yeah.
What if that amount of money should have been 3 to 4 million? As per the nature of your injury on duty. And I think the last time I spoke to you, you knew exactly what minute the injury happened, what date, etc. that happened. You still remember those facts?
I think it was 28th of April. It was the 90th minute. I will never forget. It's the 90th minute of the match. It was the last minute. So
against Orlando Pirates.
Against Orlando Pirates, 0-0 at the.
So you keep a clean sheet, but you as the goalkeeper are the one that gets to suffer for the rest of your life. And that is why I ask, and maybe I'll ask differently, to say, is it not something worth pursuing? Even if it's so many years down the line. Because it is still the same administration. It's still the same set of rules. And if there is an insurance like he claimed to be, then you need to go back to him and say, let's go back to where you got the 200,000 rand and see what actually I was supposed to get.
No, we know exactly what I was supposed to get, because we were discussing it with Jonathan Schloss. He was working with Jose, and he came up with numbers of 3.7 million.
Wow.
So, they were coming up with excuses of, I started the match with a broken leg, the insurance. They said,
how do they know that?
No, how do you start the match with a broken leg, and the 90th minute you collapse because you can't play with a broken leg anymore? How do you start a match with a broken leg? So then afterwards they said, let's wait a year because you might just recover. And they even sent me to specialists.
Yes.
And their specialists were telling there's no chance that I can get back because of obviously of my age and of the severity of the injury. So,
because you almost lost your leg. There was a stage where it was going to go for amputation.
Yeah, the thing was that it was tibia and fibia. It was complete break.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can still remember when it happened. As I was landing on the ground, my ankle was next to my knee, and I just pushed it back into place again.
Yeah.
So, and I knew right away it was broken, and I just and it's a lot of nerve damage. Still today, I can't fully move my toes. The feeling is not normal in my leg, in my foot. Sorry, in my foot, it's not normal, and the skin on the foot and underneath, it's like when they need to amputate.
Yeah.
The skin is like that, so I have to fix it every time. So But yeah, basically it was a bad damage.
Yeah.
And I mean, the insurance guys were just trying to, try and get every excuse not to pay out. So.
But I go back again to the ridiculous assumption that they've made to say that you started the game with a broken leg.
Yeah.
Where do they get that fact from?
I don't know. That is what, because I wasn't dealing directly with insurance. It was through Jonathan.
Yes.
And this is what Jonathan was coming back to me and telling me this is what they are saying.
And this is the insurance of what? The league's
PSL
insurance
of the Premier Soccer League, of the PSL.
Because there is an insurance that is available for football players in your situation.
Well, to my knowledge, every player that's registered in the PSL is covered by the insurance. So.
Then why is it so difficult?
That is the question I've been asking since it happened.
And if Jonathan Schloss knows the exact amount that you are meant to get, then surely.
Yeah.
Then surely. That should have happened. There should have been no argument. Emile Baron should be living a quality of life that he deserves, and you should not be begging, borrowing, quarter to stealing, as you said, that you had even contemplated a life of crime. And thank God you didn't.
Yeah.
But if he can verify that to you and tell you that, I mean, that's like dangling a carrot.
Exactly.
In your face and say, yeah, we could have given you 3.7, but guess what? You're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Because the insurance is telling us that without verification, medical confirmation that you started the game with a broken leg. I mean, that's the most ludicrous thing.
Yeah. And even our team doctor was like, he also got involved and said, listen, there's no way that he can get back on the field.
Yeah.
And like I said, they even sent me to one of their specialists to check me out, and he said exactly the same thing, and still they didn't budge.
Emile, so my maths is not the best, but if you were being owed 3.7, and if in Norway they'd done a crowdfunding and you were due to have 1.992 million rand, I'm not saying money solves everything, but it puts you away from the difficulty. It gives your kids that much more hope of better education, a better life, maybe a better life than you would have ever imagined them to have. That's a lot of money that is floating somewhere without landing where its rightful place is.
Yeah.
What do you think the next phase or step should be? Do you need us to get you the best lawyer in town to go and fight this battle for you?
Yeah,
Sorry, Sherry, you're
yes,
coming.
please. I was saying yes, please. We do need that.
Because
kind of assistance.
I think it boils down to that. It boils down to...
Definitely.
We will hold on to this until you come fighting us to then release the funds.
Definitely.
And has there been any legal representation that is stepped forward? None.
No. And I mean, I think if we did that once, the time that I did break my leg,
yes,
I think if I did have some legal representation, I think it would probably turned out different. But because I didn't have anything, and I trusted Wits, I trusted Jonathan, I trusted Jose, and then nothing came of it. So I think that is the best way to go forth, is to try and get some good legal help with this situation.
Because somebody said to me that someone had thrown the case out and said this case happened too far back and it's too old a story. I'm saying no, there's no such a thing.
Yeah.
There's no such a thing. Retrospectively, you can always come back to a case better prepared with the evidence in front of you. And there is no better time, Emile and Sherry, to fight this case than right now. I don't think our national pride and treasure should be going through what you're going through. When I come back, we'll take a lot of your reaction as well. I see there's lots of voice notes that are up. Do give us a call as well. Emile Baron, Sherry Baron are here in studio. And it's also an important day as far as the Africa Cup of Nations is concerned. We'll tell you about a big game coming up. Ivory Coast taking on Nigeria. Africa Cup of Nations.
Marawa Sports Worldwide, covering Africa Cup of Nations Cote d'Ivoire 23. All of the action, all of the time. Hashtag MSW AFCON.
Snap out of. Huh? How long will it take to connect to an agent?
You're not understanding my issue.
Your caller number 2. 5, 3. An agent will attend to you shortly.
Awa, 2 weeks. Ke batla tjhelete ya ka.
And snap into personalized support, next day settlements, easy transactions, and a simpler payment experience with the SnapScan card machine. Get yours at snapscan.co.za.
Checker 6060 delivers extra deals to make this year 2020 more.
Eating more greens, we've got the beans. Let's go 60-60. Back on the clock, there with your stock. Let's go 60-60. Filling backpacks, we'll bring the snacks. Let's go 60-60. Savings are here for the new year. Let's go 60-60.
All you need to get your year off to a great start is 60 minutes away.
Let's go 60-60.
It just hits different when you've got skin in the game. Introducing Supersport Bet. Now every fan can play too. Sign up at supersportbet.com. Bet 50 Rand and get 200 Rand in bonus bets. T's and C's apply. Licensed by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. National Responsible Gambling Program toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
A phone that records, writes, and summarizes your meetings for you? Who lives like that? Circle any object, search it, and find it? Who lives like that? Speak many languages on the spot? Who lives like that? Who lives like that? You do. Galaxy AI is here with features like Note Assist, Circle to Search, and Live Translate. The new Galaxy S24 lets you feel AI at your fingertips. Epic, just like that.
Bestmed Medical Scheme is turning 60 and you have great reasons to celebrate with us. We are SA's largest self-administered medical scheme, which means lower administration costs and more personal attention. We've been the fastest growing open medical scheme among the top 5 for 3 years running. What takes the cake is our consistent awards, affirming our excellent service. Join the medical scheme with 60 years of trusted service. Visit bestmed.co.za. Bestmed Medical Scheme is an authorized FSP.
Everyone knows that South Africans love December. That's why Burger King created the December Special, where you could get 2 Whopper meals with chips and a bottomless drink for only $130. What they don't know is that you can still get that same Burger King special today, because after the 31st of December, Burger King decided to December on to the 32nd of December, then the 33rd of December.
Our 130 Rand Whopper special is still Decembering at Burger King.
2nd December. Then the
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
I can tell from your body language. Okay, let's talk about it.
Benson Mshongo, my guest here tonight. I said I didn't expect that body language, that negativity coming through from people that are supposed to be leading the national team. It's a privilege.
It's a tournament that is played over a month. We need experience there, whether playing or on the bench. So that such things cannot happen. Because it starts from the change room before you enter the pitch, the mentality. You know, I was looking at the social media, my Instagram, you find them posting, massaging the whole week.
And this is the Bafana players?
Yes. So I don't know how stiff they are. What is it? Are you at the hotel having a nice time?
I can tell from your body language. Okay.
#MSW.
Well, Rob, and good evening to the legend Emile Baron. Rob, this is very sad, and I don't think we are being honest enough when we call ourselves a footballing nation if we cannot take care of our legends. Because for me, Rob, Emile Baron has done exceptionally well for this country, and for me, he's one individual who should have been crafted into our development structures so that we can produce more goalkeepers who can be able to play internationally, because it doesn't take anything but exceptional talent to go abroad at the age of 19, and Emile has been able to do that. And for me, Rob, we are missing a great opportunity to integrate these legends, and that's why we find or hear this type of stories, because we don't have plans. And for me, it's very sad to hear what is happening about Emile. But I just want to say to him, be courageous and knowing that things will turn out better, and we will always cherish the memories that you've given us as a player and the contribution that you've done for this country. And I just hope that things will turn out better and soon. Thank you so much. Tebogoye,
thank you so much indeed. Emile, that is what he's suggesting, and I don't disagree with him saying that you should have been placed a long time ago on a developmental program for goalkeepers to give back to the country. What you know?
Yeah, and I mean, coming back to the question you did ask me earlier about football is what I know, and it's what given me everything and took everything away from me. I still have a passion for football because I have come to realize after isolating myself from football, I've come to realize that my only way out is football because football is the only thing I know. And I'm passionate about, I want to work with young goalkeepers. I want to, work with these younger boys because there is talent. There's lots of talent. And if they can just get the specialized training and care that they need, I mean, they could go, the sky's the limit. So, and that is where I want to be a part of it. I want to, the knowledge I have, I would like to pass it on to younger goalkeepers as well. And not just goalkeepers, because, goalkeepers a part of a team is more than a captain because you are seeing the whole game and you are actually directing your players what to do. So you are like the director of the match. So it's not just with goalkeepers. I would like to help like defender, striker, anything.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and I am still passionate about the game. And that is what I want to do. I want to work with younger players.
Because you were made promises, Sherry, I do believe that promises were made as far as an opportunity to grant Emile a chance to go for his coaching badges. Tell me more about that.
Yes, he was promised that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because he said that's something that he would like to further, like try and do since he can't physically play anymore. Yes, but that has been promised to him. Even I've been promised.
Really?
Yes.
And?
Nothing.
So, but, okay. You can't speak on behalf of the people that make the promises,
I can't.
though, but it's also just inhumane to keep doing that
Yes,
as well.
get hopes up and...
But I've said to you during the break that I will make it my business to reach out to the technical director at SAFA, Walter Steenbach, to make sure that we try and enroll you within a coaching badge. I believe, Emile, and I see a different you to the last time I saw you. And I am so much happier to see the strength, that fire in your eyes, that want to know better about life, that desire to improve. I see it now. I didn't see it the last time. And whatever it is, that I know the situation has gotten worse, but I think you as a human being have become stronger.
Yeah.
Is that true? I mean, am I reading it correctly?
Yeah, it is because like, it's like myself and my wife, we've went down to like, the bottom, right at the bottom. You can't go further than that. So we know that the only way is up. So, like I said, like this carrot that's dangling in front all the time and not getting to it. Yeah, it morally, you lose focus, of things like that. But yeah, there is that part of me that, if I can get the chance with coaching and things like that, it's something that I want to do. And like I told you, I've come to realize that it's only football that can get me out of this hole. It's only football. So if I can get any chance I can get with doing what I love doing, that's the only way that I can take care of my family.
And I believe that you can. And tell me about the dark moments, the moments where on 4 occasions, my calculation might be wrong, but I think on 4 occasions, you had wanted to take your life.
Okay. You know what? It's a bit hard for me to talk about that.
Yeah. But it was a consideration.
It was, and if it wasn't for my wife,
yeah,
we would have probably been in a different situation now, but it's hard for me to speak about that.
Yeah. I know. I think it's also trying to paint a picture to someone who's listening to your story for the first time of how low things had become for you. What do you think stopped you?
Like I say, my wife, she she was hard. She was like, why are you trying to do this? It's not, you're running away from it. Why are you doing this? You're not doing it to yourself. You're doing it to your children. And the realization of that makes it even harder for me. And, it portrays me as a weak person, to do stuff like that. So, yes, I feel that at this moment in time where these occasions where it was happening, I was at my weakest. And from time to time, still today, I do feel very weak sometimes. Actually, most of the time, I really do feel weak. Because as a man, I feel that, I'm supposed to be the one solving these issues that we are struggling with. But it's like hitting a brick wall all the time. And it just seems that it's one step forward and 5 steps back. And then it's just so hard to get out of it. And like I say, as a man, it's just, once you get to that stage, it's just, it's like there's no other way to deal with it.
Sherry, and I thank you for your intervention in that. I think we would have lost greatly if we had to have had a situation where Emil would not have been with us.
Not on my watch.
I thank you for that. I really do. For you, that reality, as it looked you straight in the face,
yes.
How difficult was it for you to sway him when somebody is convinced that I'd rather not be on this earth to face these problems?
I think whatever it takes, because I have a fire burning in me that wouldn't want anyone to give up, especially not my husband, not the father of my children. So get him out of that. I'll do it anytime. There's a fire that burns inside.
So you brought that fire back in him, and that's why I'm saying I see.
My mom has even said that.
No, seriously. I see it. And I was so happy when I saw that. Got up, that handshake, looked at him in the face. I was like, this human being is getting back to the person that we know. And that brings me so much joy to it. And if we can be able to swing it completely around, I think as a nation we can do that.
We can.
And let's not only rely, and I thank the people of Norway, I thank the fans of Norway for doing what they did. We'll get to the bottom of why the funds haven't come through, but we're going to try and unlock all of those things.
Thank you so much.
I honestly, I don't believe in messing around with people.
Robert, greet you as a good art. Robert, there's one thing, which I admire from you. Robert, you speak your heart, nationally, internationally. I greet yourself and your two guests, the soccer player of 2013 and his wife. Robert, and I'm sure somewhere something is going to happen just because of you. So Robert, thanks. You've got a good heart. Mooi bly, Ben Richter.
Ben Richter in the new year. Thank you very, very much indeed. South Africans are good people by nature. I can't attest to the harshness that they have borne on a football player who didn't ask to be injured in a football game. I know of players that have had cardiac arrest on the field, survived, yet they get to live till today without kicking a ball because they've been advised against doing that by their cardiologist, but they still get compensation every month. Because again, the incidents would have happened on the field, nowhere else. So why is it so different for this particular player?
Evening, Mr. Robert, and evening to the Baron family. It's a quite sad story to hear from a legend of South African football. But I have a question for Mr. Baron. Have you ever tried to take the matter to the Department of Sports and Recreation, to Zizi Kota's table? And if you tried, what was the response from the Department of Sports and Recreation? Thank you, Mr. Robert.
Has that been an option, Sherry, Emile? Have you taken it to the department?
No, like I said earlier, we trusted the people at Wits. We trusted Jonathan, we trusted Jose, because we trusted that they will do everything in their power to get what's right for me as a player of Bidvest. So no, we haven't tried any other avenues.
Okay. Which is fine, which is absolutely fine. We'll find solutions.
Good evening, Robert, and good evening to your guest there. Robert, what an unpleasant story to hear. I once faced such a situation, Robert, in life, but what I want to tell your guest there is he must never tire. He must just keep on knocking on all the doors that he went through. Luck will strike one good day. Good show. That's all.
But gents, thank you so much indeed. Really appreciate that. Also looking at social media, Khobane Satsedi was saying that I remember prominently how our former coach Ernest Biddendorp would use him when it is the Soweto derby. David Oboa scored in one of these games when we triumphed over our nemesis with Emile Baron, illuminated all the best in his current endeavors. And that's one of the messages, as I was saying, where people remember exactly what happened. And it was because of your persistent injuries as well that a big name in the Itumeleng came to the fore, because he was the reserve goalkeeper, and then you were just injured all over the place. You had 9 operations in less than 14 years, which again in itself was crazy. I would like to chart a way forward. What do you wish for yourself?
First of all, I wish that, just to get like a salary, just be able to earn a salary every month, which will make it capable of me to look after my family, look after my kids and my wife. Because at this moment, I'm not really for myself. I'm not there for myself. I'm just trying to see what is the best that I can look after my family, and especially for my kids, because these past few years has been very traumatizing for my kids, because they don't really understand what is going on. Why is it that we can't be together as a family all the time? Why do we have to move up and down? Why is it that they can't be at a school like normal kids, attending a school for a full year? So it's been very traumatizing for them, and which makes it harder for me as well, because you don't want to see your kids growing up that way. And it's been especially hard on my eldest son, because he was born and I was able to provide him with whatever he needed and wanted. And then that sudden change where now he can't expect that anything he wants he's going to get. So then from getting everything he wanted to not even be able to think of wanting something, and not being able to say that I have a home and things like that. And it's hit him very, very hard psychologically. So, that's just why I say just to earn a salary every month, that'll do for me, just so I can support my family.
What I love about what you've said is you have not asked anybody to donate anything. You said you'd like to earn.
Yeah.
In other words, you're willing to work, and which then gives this complete switch that this is not a begging bowl exercise. This is, I want a life that I deserve. Sherry, I thank you for the strength you've given your husband. I might not have time for you to respond, but do accept my thank you on behalf of many people as I read through social media for the role you've played in keeping our national hero alive and strong. Thank you so much indeed. Emile, we'll get over this, my friend. Stay strong.
Thanks, Rob, and thanks for having me, and thanks to football lovers in South Africa for all the support. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, guys. Stay strong.
Marawa Sports Worldwide, covering Africa Cup of Nations Cote d'Ivoire 23. All of the action, all of the time. #MSW AFCON.